Alright, till now we have used built-in functions like print function, len function, or input function. And we have used module functions like advanced math functions or random generator. But the question is, if we want to make our own function, how would we do that? If we want to make our own function, the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to start out with a keyword which is called def. So I'm going to write over here def. This is because we are creating or defining a function. So this def keyword comes from the defining word. After the def keyword, we are going to give our function a name. For now, I'm just going to call it my first function. So it's going to be like this, my first function. Now the thing that differentiates a function from variable is the parentheses. So this means that after the name, we need to provide parentheses over here, and after the parentheses, the final thing that we need to put a colon after parentheses. Because this says everything that comes after this line over here will be indented and belongs to this function over here. A function definition specifies the name of a function and the sequence of the statements that execute when function is called. Once we define a function, we can reuse the function over and over throughout our program. Now let's make a really simple function that just says 2 lines of code. So if I hit enter after the colon, you will see that the cursor comes to the indentation level inside this function. So this means that the code that we have in this indentation level will be included inside the function. So here I'm just going to put 2 statements inside the function. I'm going to print hello, I am a function. Then I'm just going to print out saying that bye for now. So whenever we are calling this function, these 2 lines of code will be executed. Now I have created my very first function and I have placed lines of code that are associated with this function, all indented level after the definition over here. Now if I go ahead and run our code, you will see that actually nothing happens over here. The reason is, for now, we have not executed this function over here. So this means that we can define lots of functions ahead of time and they are only executed when we trigger them. So in this case, we have not called our function, we have not triggered our function, so that's why when we run this code, nothing happens over here. So for example, we have seen that there are lots of functions in math module, but whenever we import the math module, not all of them are executed. The ones that we call are only executed. So if we have not called our function, the function will not be executed. So to call our function, all we have to do, as we did before for built-in functions, we have to put the name of function, which is in our case my first function. So take into account that we are not going to put it in the indentation level, it has to be with the same level with the function definition. So here I'm just going to put my first function, and after function I need to put parentheses as we did when we are calling built-in function. Now in this case, if I run our code, you will see that first is printing out saying that hello, I am a function and bye for now. So as you can see, whenever we put the function name and call the function, the code inside function gets executed over here. Now in our case, our function does not require any input. So here, when we are calling our function, you see that we have left the inside parentheses empty because in this case, our function is not required any parameter. But for example, if you look at built-in function, which is print function over here, you see that inside parentheses, we have provided some arguments over here. So this means that this function requires parameter, but in our function, there is no parameter. Actually, we will talk about it in our upcoming lectures, but for now, you just need to know that in this simple function, any parameter is not required. Now, as we mentioned before, we can call our function how many times that we want in our inside program. So in this case, if I just copy this line of code and pass it over here, you will see that our function will be executed 2 times. So here, the first thing is it's executed over here like this. So first it's executed this function and printing out this message over here. Then second time it's executing the same function and printing out message over here like this. Now if I just copy this line of code and put inside Tony editor, you will see the order of execution when we are calling the function over here. Now if I pass the same code inside Tony editor, you will see how the execution takes place when we are calling this function over here. Now I'm just going to click the debug button. Then we are going to continue with step into button. So whenever we click this, you see that the first thing that it does is going to call this my first function over here. So if I click it one more time, it's going to check this function, and then it's going to tab into this function over here. So first, it's going to start from the first line of code over here. So as we said before, in Python, the execution starts from top to down. So in this case, first it's going to check first line of code. So if I click one more time, it's going to check the print statement. Then it's going to print out, hello, I'm a function inside in the console over here. So here it shows that this is it's not returning anything. It's just printing out this statement to the console. Then it's going to continue to the next line of code. So in the next line of code we have by for now. So it's going to print out this code to the console over here. Now at the end, it's going to finish out saying that this function does not return anything. So our program will stop over here. So as you can see, when we are calling this function over here, it's going to execute all lines of inside this function from top to down. Now just to recap, this is how we create a function in Python. So first we define the function to specify what it should do. And we do that by using the def keyword over here. Then we give a name to our function, which is in our case my first function over here. Now after the name of function, we need to provide parentheses and colon. Then after that, we get to put the lines of code which will be included in this function. And remember that this line of code over here, which goes into the function, will be carried out when the function is triggered. And they must be indented like this. So once you have defined the function, you have actually created the recipe. So the next step is to actually use it, which in programming lingo we will say calling the function. So to call a function, we just need to provide the function name and parentheses after function over here. Now if you have arguments for the function, we are going to provide the arguments inside this parentheses, but for now we don't have any arguments, so that's why we are just putting the function name and parentheses after that. And once the computer sees this line of code, it will go and carry out all these instructions inside function that we defined over here. So it's going to implement these instructions line by line from top to down. Now to learn functions very well, let's look at the Carol the robot, which is similar to the functions. Now the robot is going to perform the task that we want to do, no more, no less. For example, if we wanted a robot to go to the store and pick up some milk for us, we just need to give the specific instruction. We cannot say, go and take some milk from the store and come back. So we need to specify the instructions step by step like this. So we need to say that move out from the house and then turn left, then move some blocks to the forward, then turn right and go inside store and buy some milk and get the milk and come back with the same way that you went by giving specific instructions over here. So we have to give all these instructions to our robot to get the milk from the store. So here, as you can see, we have to program each and every step. But say if this functionality of getting the robot to go and pick up some milk for us is needed every single day, then we have to write all these instructions day after day. And at some point we will be just bored and our fingers will be hurt. We will stop doing this because we don't have a way of bundling all these instructions together. So that's where functions come in. So functions will give us a way of referring all these instructions at the same time. So we can put all these instructions inside a kind of box, so we can name it get milk. So with this way, we can give our robot a single instruction and it will carry out all those lines for getting some milk from the store. So as you can see, we have put all the instructions inside functions. So every day we just need to call get milk function so our robot can get a milk from a store. Now hopefully with this example you have get an idea of how can we define our own function. So with this we have come to the end of this lecture. So in this lecture we have defined our very first function and we have learned why we need functions and how they are working. So hopefully everything is clear about defining functions. See you in the next lecture.